Welcome to D&D, guys. We're just trying to figure out how Kyle can make sound. Oh, let me try again. Make sound. For the ladies who LARP.
Ladies who LARP? I love that.
I love that too. Hi, Essa.
Oh,
Chris
fun
Medina.
fact, you're not going to hear me if I don't unmute myself.
There we go.
Oh.
I was looking at the wrong mic thing. That's the issue.
My
Alright,
name
so is my
Lucy,
sound normal?
and I'm a LARPer.
You what?
You can hear me now in the Twitch stream, is that correct?
I believe so, yes.
You believe so as in you heard me in the Twitch thing? Pardon? You can hear me now in the...
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
What's up, I just said every guys.
Look at our fun emotes.
Oh.
Look at our fruit.
Those are great.
Yeah.
Oh, those are cool.
Okay. Sorry, I'm like all over the place doing so many things.
It's okay. I think that's the general state of being of everyone right now. Love to see that the LGBTs have huddled. Aw, thanks, Nub Nub.
It's honestly been one of my favorite parts about quarantine to look forward to every week.
That makes me really happy, Jonathan, because I didn't know that you were gonna like D&D so much.
Oh yeah. I told you, I've been looking for a game for like years.
He's doing it all the way from the desert.
Yeah. It's 97 degrees outside.
Cool.
Oh, I have to choose a new virtual background for today.
It was
Yeah,
76 today. In Palms.
Nub Nub, thank you so much for the follow. Oh, you know what I should actually do is the background.
Do you have a Jonathan?
Yes.
That's the only reason to go.
Oh.
Alright. I'm going to run to the restroom super quick. But can someone give a rundown of what we're doing today?
Yes, so we are playing D&D. We are playing in the world of Theros, which is a Magic the Gathering world. I love that Kyle is centered in his photo right there. Basically, our initial setup is that we are all attending a wedding. So we're super excited for this. I'm living for Jonathan just lavishly on the bed with the crown. And none of us know a lot about Magic the Gathering. Like, none of us are Magic the Gathering players. Jamil, you've not played any of Magic, right?
Very
No.
basic.
So we've all been like studying about the lore and everything like that to try to. It's just a fun way to mix like D&D but with Greek mythology. I'm looking at the chat. Hello. Who's gonna be the fierce wedding crasher? Well, we can't say that yet. Do you guys know who the wedding crasher is yet?
I didn't know only because I was told once
Yeah, I know who it is.
Someone asked who the wedding crasher is.
But yes, there is a wedding crasher.
Well, I guess we're about to find out, aren't we?
Kyle, did you post this on your Twitch stuff, by the way?
Oh, there's something I do. I put it in my Discord. Let me host from my channel.
How do you host from a channel?
Through the I do it through the dashboard. I don't, know what the other ways are, but there are other ways.
And then your cow missed them out.
Not that I have any
No.
calls, but I'm just curious. I'd like to do it at some point.
Yeah.
Once I do.
Actually, yeah, let me do that. It's hard because I'm logged into this Twitch on my computer,
Right,
so now I have to try to do this. I don't know if I can host people through my phone. I think I can. View dashboard.
I am dressed for this wedding.
No, let's see.
There. I have blue hair.
Jamil, I'm digging the longer hair.
My crazy curls.
I don't think they're crazy. I think they're cute.
Here we go. You can host it on mobile, Jonathan. If you're logged in on your phone, you can. Thank you, me, for hosting with one viewer, which is also me. Through the share button, you can actually
Thank yourself.
host your this on your channel.
Okay, thank myself.
Okay, so something I want to do at the start of our sessions is ask everyone a question that they will answer both as themselves, the person, the player, and as their character. Before we do that, can I have everybody roll a d20 for initiative for question answering?
Yes.
First roll for initiative for the night, but not even real campaign. Let me grab my dice out here.
I got mine.
I rolled a 4.
All right. Chris is a 4.
I have an 8.
11.
Say that again, Ken.
8.
Okay.
I have a -1 initiative. It's sad. Because I'm a cat person.
Jamil?
No.
11.
11, okay. And Jonathan?
18.
Okay. So before we do our actual official question, you can do, we do virtual and IRL, people depending on people's preferences, you know.
Yeah, I'm doing virtual dice on D&D Beyond just because I keep losing my real dice or accidentally like hurting things in my room.
I'm doing the same thing.
Don't have any D4s in my dice tin next to me, so I will only be able to roll D6 and D20 IRL. Okay, so Jonathan, thank you so much for the host. Yes. So, real quick, before we do the actual real question, can I have all of the players state their name and pronouns as well as their character's name and pronouns? And also, I'm going to try to add this as you go.
Oh, that's not true. Right.
So we're going to start with Jonathan. So the initiative order for the answering is going to be for Jonathan, Jamil, Cannon, and Chris.
That's clockwise on my Zoom. Okay. I'm Jonathan. My pronouns are he, him. I live in LA normally, but I'm in Palm Springs for the weekends. For the week, I guess it's Wednesday. And my character's name is Kopaka, a male Leonin ranger.
Cool, thank you. Jamil?
My name is Jamil. My pronouns are he and him. I am in Los Angeles, and my character is Michiru. He is a Triton rogue who masquerades as a drag performer to sneak into very expensive balls and steal from all the guests. Sometimes the owners.
Thank you. Cannon?
My name is Cannon. My pronouns are he, she, they, whatever. I don't really care. Pronouns don't really matter to me. You can use whatever you want. I don't find any of them offensive. My character's name is Alistair. He is a Minotaur paladin. His pronouns are he, him, and his. And was there anything else? That was it, right?
Nope, that was it for now.
Cool.
And then last but not least, Chris?
Someone wrote Sticky Fingers Sally.
I'm writing that down.
Sally.
That's amazing. My name is Chris. My personal pronouns. I'm same with Canon. I go with whatever. But usually people use he or they unless it's Canon, which Canon usually refers to me as she. My character's name is Ched. He is a total bro that is a sitar that is from a wealthy family. One of the few wealthy sitar families in
Satyr?
Satyr. Well,
Isn't a sitar that like kind of guitar thing?
I don't know why anytime I know I have to pronounce something, I spend an hour trying to pronounce it, and then as soon as we start recording, I say the wrong thing. So yes, he is a satyr and is from one of the few wealthy satyr families. A total spoiled brat, and a frat bro, and a little bit of a socialite, and his goal is just to hold the biggest parties ever.
Counterpoint, I really love your mid-Atlantic pronunciation of ordinary words. It like gets me through my day.
It's pretty
Professional quality
It's
streaming.
here if you're nasty.
Anyone watch the themed movie to get ready for tonight?
I watched Hercules because I love that movie.
Sorry about that. What I miss?
We're talking about what people did to get ready for this. I've never seen My Greek Wedding. Yeah.
Evidently.
You know, he's the one that edited the poster.
I've never seen it. I found the poster, I edited it, but maybe that's what I mean. Kyle and I are gonna have movie night on Friday, so I'm gonna push for the B movie though, or Bombshells.
That's fair.
But yes, so I've not watched that, and I.
One sec. I'm mad at my green screen.
All I remember of Hercules is what was in Kingdom Hearts recently, which is not much.
I need to watch that.
Disappointing. That's a disappointing point of reference.
Yeah, Hercules is great. I actually wish they would do a live-action Hercules. I think that would be a lot of fun.
It's real sexy.
Yeah.
A lot of sexy going on in that movie.
There's a lot of sexiness going on in that movie. It's a little weird, but I'm totally here for it.
Like, what's her name?
Meg?
Meg.
Meg's hot as fuck.
And then Hercules? Like,
Yeah.
half dressed.
Oh, are we talking about Disney Hercules?
Jonathan
And
knows
how it
all
is
about
the movie that makes people bisexual?
Who?
Or just Kyle.
Or just me?
I mean, no. I mean, you have a very hot man, a very hot woman. It's totally.
They are very, very hot.
I'm also kind of into Hades. I don't know why.
It's
like-
his personality, and he's like, you can fix him, you know.
Yeah. But it's also just like, I want a man that controls something as useful as the underworld. I just don't know why.
Nub Nub says, I think Hades was my gay awakening.
Yeah, seriously, right? Nubno knows what's up.
Well,
Nothing about
Disney
Hades. He just has that sexual energy, that charisma.
Disney does a lot of like queer-coded villains that we love to see because we like them because they're queer-coded, even though it's dangerous or problematic to have that be the standard or what's happening there.
But that's why they need to do like a recreation of all these stories where the villains are actually the heroes, and like
Maleficent?
seen for what they are. I like that emotion too. Is that a dog with just a rainbow heart?
It looks like
Yeah,
a
I was replying
squirrel?
to Tag's comment.
Oh, hey, Tags.
Foam.
Yeah, Tags is
and
here.
abs.
Oh gosh, I don't know if I'm spelling.
What is
I'm
this
just
again?
eating Panic myself. They are great.
Who are they?
They're the demon. I don't know what the Greek equivalent of demons is, but they're two of Hades' servants.
Oh, Pain and Panic.
Yeah.
Nobody was into the satire.
They're kind of imps, but in
No.
Theros has actual demons.
Philatides.
I'm legit confused how to say
Satyr.
Later.
Satyr.
Not like the Jewish dinner.
If they did a live action movie, what's his name could play Philatides on the big screen?
Danny DeVito.
Yes, DeVito. He'd be perfect.
I mean, if the movie was directed by M. Night, then it would be satire.
Also, have you seen the Ariana Grande cover of I Won't Say I'm in Love?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Ooh.
All right.
Keke Palmer did a cover of Herc is on a Roll, which is
Oh,
fantastic.
I'm sure that's excellent. Keke Palmer's great. Okay, so now for the action. Sorry, can you check if your names? Did I spell Mishiru right? Did I spell people's names right?
Where should we be checking?
Oh, sorry, it would be in the Twitch stream. I don't know if y'all can see it. If not, no worries.
Yeah, mine's
And
correct.
it's a little hard to read, but that's.
Yeah, I'll work on that during the break.
But I mean, it's kind of easy to realize who Canon is with that beautiful face.
Cannon, show your face.
quite the improvement.
Thank you. Oh, I can turn the filter off. I was just doing it for fun.
I don't know, just in case viewers need to see you. Oh,
Better?
that's so much better, actually. I'm really enjoying that.
Oh, this-
Ginger beard.
Okay, so for the actual question of the day,
Okay.
and by the way, the people in chat, you can answer the question of the day as you would as well. So both as yourself and as your character, I want you to answer, what is your favorite food? Or one, like if you, or a different way of asking it would be, if you were going to a party, what food would you look for to eat? And we're going to start with Jonathan.
Ooh, food to eat. If it's a good party, which I'm assuming this wedding that we're going to is, based on what I've heard, I love it when they have like tuna tartare hors d'oeuvres there on like a cracker. I'd usually like follow the whatever person serving that around. As for my character, I'm playing as a cat. So cats like fish. Cats like
So also tuna tartare.
tartare.
Okay.
Maybe less tartare and more just like raw. Like doesn't need to be prepared as much. Just like chew straight into the tuna itself.
Fair. All right, Jamil.
Let's see. Favorite foods if I go to. I mean, could go for some nice fancy duck confit if you're like
Oh.
fancy party.
Oh, real fancy.
But if we're talking my real parties, pigs in a blanket.
Mm-hmm.
My character likes sushi. It reminds him of home. Little
Mm.
seaweed, little fish.
That's
Right.
not like eating your friends?
No,
The fish aren't sentient necessarily.
not really. I mean, just because we all live in on the same plane doesn't mean like we share the land with cows and we eat them.
That's true.
So why can't Tritons eat
A little
fish
pertinent
that
for
they
my
find?
character, but I get what you're saying.
Nub in chat says charcuterie. Honestly, always a slut for meats and cheeses. Yeah,
Yes.
I get you.
Hard same.
Oh gosh, wait. What's the What's the term for like the appetizer veggies? Like not crudité. That's the term I was
Hey.
trying to remember what that term was. And then
Yes, he gets it.
Isor V also says, yeah, pigs in a blanket, of course. All right, Cannon.
I don't eat at parties because I'm too old. But my character.
Wait, what?
I can't eat at parties. It's a long story.
Okay.
He just takes pills.
I do. Yeah. My character would probably like everything because he's huge and he has to eat 10,000 calories a day, or else he'll be malnourished. So just anything and everything.
Is he a carnivore or vegetarian?
So I did some research, and minotaurs have a fairly balanced diet. They eat everything.
Yeah,
I
omnivorous.
first thought they would be vegetarian, but they also eat meat, so he eats everything. Probably has a sweet tooth, though. Everybody likes cakes.
True. All right, Chris.
My cake. Just cake. Any sort. I miss it so much. I just want cake.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you could just go buy cake.
Do you ever cheat? Do you ever have it like occasionally?
No, well, so I'm gluten free,
Uh,
and so gluten free treats are just, it's
They're
not the same. And Kyle's like, we're gonna do a gluten free cake for your birthday, and I really just want to cheat and get a Susie cake so bad.
Oh,
I'll bring you a flan.
See,
Either-
that would do it. Okay, I'll give you a cake and some like Pepto Bismol.
Yes. I will not be bottoming after my birthday.
oh. Bottom before.
Bottom before.
Yeah.
Warning us.
Lost 3
Morning.
My character's favorite food is Smirnoff and
I was gonna say ale,
Yeah,
beer.
Four Loco. Like, wow.
and Red Bull.
Shots?
What did you say?
You're off in Jello shots.
Yes, Smirnoff and Jello shots.
That's his favorite
Jo-
meal of the day.
I wonder if the Jello on Theros is ever made from satyr hooves. That would be
And Minotaur
unfortunate.
bones.
or like blood, or not blood, excuse me, bones, or like whatever. Gelatin.
Up says apparently the Dairy Queen. I can get a Dairy Queen ice cream cake.
Oh yeah, you can do that. No gluten.
Although dairy also gives you issues, but.
Okay, well, Kyle knows any reason that I can't bottom. So, anyways,
I don't know if I ever really introduced myself. I'm Kyle. I am the dungeon master.
yes.
What's your favorite food?
Oh gosh. Like me some nuggets, some bananas.
Chicken nuggets.
Well, fake chicken nuggets. I like chips. I usually just go to party and eat celery and chips.
Kyle is vegan, and Canon is shocked that Kyle has not converted me into a vegan.
I am.
You would die. Like I wouldn't want to convert you because you would die without red meat.
I think Canon's also just impressed I have a boyfriend that doesn't want to kill me. So.
Yeah, that too.
Yes.
Alrighty, y'all. So let us. Sorry.
No, I was just reading the comment. Top private. I don't know what that means.
I think Tags is going for top privilege.
Oh, privilege.
Well,
yes.
Yeah. Okay, so y'all briefly touched on who your characters were, and let me set the scene as we kind of go ahead and jump into session 1. So.
I can hear you. I'm going to be right. I'm just going to get some drink.
Oh gosh.
I don't know. Tags just kind of made me want to open up a bottle of wine.
Oh, it does sound nice right about
I'm getting kombucha. Calm down.
Greek wine.
Oh, I want some kombucha. Chris, bring me kombucha. Okay.
Hard kombucha.
I will wait for Chris to get back.
Okay, well, with that, I have a very annoying cat that gets fed at 8 on the dot, and she's about to start going crazy. So
Oh, all right. Go do that. We're gonna be playing for the next hour and 15. Then we're gonna take a teeny tiny short break, and then we'll be back for the second half of our session. So it's basically gonna be more or less from 8 to 10:30 or so. So Greek. Okay. Text talking about Greek wine being super strong. Yes. Yeah. So, okay, well, since you two are the ones that are here, you are the two that actually are part of the wedding, or not the wedding party, but you received specific invitations to be guests and, well, so...
Okay.
We were invited.
Yes. You know who the wedding is for. Or actually, Okay. So, Alistar... You are a paladin who serves, or who's, I guess serves Heliod, or respects him, reveres him above others, and you are going to be the best man for George. George is a human man who also does good in the name of Heliod in his eyes.
George from the jungle, out of curiosity?
George is not from the jungle. George is from Akros, which is not the jungle. It's like Sparta.
Oh, right.
But he moved to Miletus, which is where the wedding's going to be. It's the Athenian type city. You can kind of see it in the background on the Twitch stream. I've got it vaguely hidden behind the stuff. But it is there. And he... trusts you a lot. Y'all have worked together a fair amount. So George has made Alistar his best man. And you, Alistar, as the best man, would know that George is getting married to Lua. Lua is a Leonin man, and he isn't as comfortable in the city because he prefers less civilized areas because he is a devotee of Nylea, the god of the hunt and nature.
Hot.
So George and Lua are getting married, and they're having a little shindig. And currently, let me lay the scene. So we're in a building in Miletus, which has an inner open court. So there's columns on the outside of the building leading up to an area. There's some rooms, but in the middle of the building, there's an open court where there's no ceiling, and it's about midday. Feels like it's about to be autumn. In fact, the specific month I have, and it is supposed to be written down, but I forgot to write it down. It is the month of something that I'll tell you in a second. It's the month of, where's the car? No. But it's basically the equivalent, let's say about August-y, but they don't use our same calendar. The month is called, here we are. It is the first day of Theran, the 9th month in the Theran calendar.
So September.
Yes. And it's nearing noon. It's like still early morning, and people are gathered in this open court area. There's a lot of human guests and some people of some other races. It's gathering about, chattering. Not many Leonin that you can see, but at the top of the court area sit the two grooms, Lua and George.
Are we all in gathering right now?
I kind of want to go to this wedding like in real life. This sounds really nice.
Say it again?
Said I kind of want to go to this wedding in real life.
Yeah,
Really
yeah.
nice.
To answer your question, Chris, not yet. So, Alistair, you are there, sitting, or rather, you're standing near George, who is laughing and talking and kind of holding court among the party guests. Lua is not as talkative, a little shy around the crowds. And on the other side of the court, we have Mishiru. Mishiru in their persona as...
I gotta get my notepad. Hold on.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay. Yes, I recommend everyone have like a notepad, either physically or digitally open, so you can take notes in case you want to remember character names or important details in case things come up that you want to remember. Have your dice, have your digitally or whatever, your character sheets.
Ready.
So people are chattering about opposite of Alistair, or rather, where Alistair is sitting to George's right, to Lua's left on the other side, basically Alistair's opposite for the other groom, sitting a human woman who's wearing sort of a veil that covers part of her eyes, like it covers her forehead and half of her eyes more or less. She's adorned in a green gown, and she is talking to some of the guests near her, but in trying to nudge Lua to talk to them. But Mishiru, your character is about to start performing. What is your character's drag name again?
So I'm gonna go with my famous drag persona is Ampharit.
Say it again.
Ampharit.
Ampharit.
Got that last session.
Gotcha.
Amphirit. Ampharit.
Gotcha.
That's her famous persona.
You're a local celebrity in the city?
I am available for weddings, birthday parties, bachelorette.
Well, so I'm going to say that Kopaka, you are kind of just coming in to the wedding, trying to avoid noticing attention at this time. And the complete opposite end, we have Ched, who is very loudly present and is seeing Mishiru's character, or rather Mishiru's persona Ampharit take the stage.
Whoa, that's a bro, right? Is that a bro?
Oh boy.
Excuse you. You wouldn't
Yeah.
know art if it hit you in the face.
As this exchange goes on, Amphory and Ched lock eyes, and there's some form of recognition between the two of them.
Whoa, I think I saw you somewhere before.
I don't think so. I don't think we've ever really met.
Don't you know my parents or something?
I don't know. I travel quite a lot. Perform in lots of different places.
Mishiru, roll for deception.
Alright. Art
And Ched, roll for insight to counter that.
Things are heating up. I love it.
Insight, you said?
Yes. Into whether or not you believe this.
16.
Okay.
1.
Okay. You buy every single word that the staged person
In character.
says.
I'm sorry, bro. I think you remind me of my ex-girlfriend. Sorry.
Wow, she must have been beautiful.
She was so hot. She had boobs.
You dated a Titan?
Sorry.
Yeah, I think so. We dated for a month, but I was pretty high.
Okay.
People are starting to gather by the stage to watch the performance. And so it gives opportunity, if someone were to want to sneak in and avoid attention, to kind of view from the sidelines.
Yes, I would like to do that. But instead of just sneaking through and trying to avoid detection, I'd also like to follow some of the dim sum plates around and food while I'm doing that, and stuff my face while she's performing for the crowd.
Okay. Yes, so there are 2 servers who are human that are offering some snacks to guests. And to lay the scene, let's say that at the north end of the room, we have the grooms and Alistair and the woman to the left of Lua. On the south end of the room is where there's the raised platform, almost like a mini amphitheater, like half a crescent of an amphitheater, where Mishiru's performing, and people are starting to gather around that way. And so, but on the east end, there is a table of snacks, and the servers have been kind of going back and forth between there, as well as a giant cake. It's not necessarily a multi-layered wedding cake, as you might imagine here, but it is like a 2-tiered cake-esque pastry thing. Fully frosted, but as people are gathering for the show, the wait staff has stopped passing out snacks and has started cutting up pieces of cake and putting it on plates.
Delightful. Can I roll for perception to see if I notice Kopaka sneaking into the party?
Yes.
Let's see.
Should I do a stealth check as well?
Yeah.
Or
This perception.
I rolled a 17, but it's a 20.
Okay.
Natural.
I rolled a 9.
Gotcha.
And I roll a deception check to see if I can get a Jaeger bomb.
So if you wanted to see the alcoholic beverages available, you're welcome to do so. Can you clarify your intent with why you want deception with that?
Because I'm totally crashing this party. I think I'm doing a really great job. Everyone thinks I totes belong here, and I just really heard they have great Jaeger bombs.
Gotcha. Okay, sure.
Sure.
Because during your loud encounter with Mishiru, the grooms, Lua and George, have started to kind of pay attention and look at each other and are unsure if either of them invited you. So yes, make a deception check to try to blend. But first, let me get the numbers from Alistair, and Kopaka first. Oh, you gave me those. Yeah. So, Alistair, you see the Leonin from where you're standing, but you don't, like, nothing looks out of the ordinary about how they're moving. You just see another, it looks like someone in the crowd is there.
I'm just going over to get the food and the drinks.
Yeah. Okay, and then Ched, what was your roll?
I got a 14.
Okay. Where did I put my dice?
I'm just used to like dressing like this, and then people just think I'm famous because I don't care.
Right. You are the... So, Lua and George observe the crowd, kind of make eye contact, and don't directly ask if either of them invited you. They notice that you're the only satyr at the party, but they kind of don't want to interrupt a gathering to strictly ask each other. They also now take this moment to turn, or rather, George takes this moment to turn to Alistair, and Alistair, thank you for being my best man, but not just being my best man, but for being my best man. You've been there for me since my dad died, and I just really appreciate everything that you've done to help me and fight for the good causes alongside me. And I'm really happy to have you by my side here today.
Of course. I wouldn't have missed this for the world. And it's an honor to stand next to you on any occasion.
Yes, here under the sun of our great god Heliod, who maintains order and is also, of course, blessing us on this wedding day. After all, he is the god of weddings. And
with the sun shining as brightly as it is, surely Heliod smiles upon us.
Exactly. At that comment, the woman to the left of Lua, the one wearing the veil, kind of lets out a snort, like, and George turns to look at her, puzzled. And she responds, sorry, you know what? You enjoy your day. I'll save my beef with Heliod for later.
Wow.
So, Mishiru, would you like to give us some of your performance or inform us about what all you're doing?
So, so thank you. Before I start the performance, I'd like to make an announcement. So, everybody, thank you so much for coming to this lovely day. I'd like to say, if you're gonna tip, don't throw your coins at me. Let me walk to you and I'll grab them, okay? Because that's how I lost the tooth. So.
After your announcement, Pete, there's a little bit of murmuring as the guests check their pocket and get some small copper coins out in their hands, ready, as though they know this is going to be an epic performance that they were looking forward to.
Okay.
And there's some musicians starting up behind you, a human man playing percussion, as well as two people on some versions of string instruments playing your music for you as you strut your stuff.
Okay, so let's just say I'll start a performance on the stage, and as I'm using my time on the stage as I'm walking left and right, I'm scanning the room to see if I notice any valuables that are up for the taking.
Okay. So, can you do a perception roll?
Perception. Sorry, just a minute. 13.
Yes, you can see that on the other side of the room, near where the grooms are currently seated, there is a pile of gifts that seem to have been brought to them on either side. As well as, from your vantage point, you can see that there's a few gifts stashed underneath the table where the snacks are. So some of them have been like under the tablecloth, but like you can see the bottom of some wrapped, or not necessarily wrapped, but some presentation urns are there that you presume to have stuff in there. Yeah.
Can I do a perception check to see that she is checking out all of the guests and what they brought and all of the gifts?
You can do, or let me think. I think that would be an insight check, And
Insight.
but I think that it's going to be contested by Mishiru's performance. So Mishiru, can you make a performance check
Okay.
to see if it looks like regular audience engagement versus?
20.
Damn it! I rolled 19.
Ooh, okay. So you cannot distinguish. You see that. Oh, I already forgot. Was it Amphorit? No, what was your the persona?
Great. Yeah.
Okay.
Emperor is the persona. Yeah.
You see that Amphorit is scanning the room, but you also know that that might just be part of their audience engagement tactics.
Yeah, you just, when you're performing, you make eye contact with the audience. You want to make that connection.
Working
That's
the
all I'm
room.
doing. I'm just looking
Yeah.
at them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Do I keep going? I just want to.
lem- Okay. As you wrap up that song or set, the audience is happy. You know, they're clapping. They're clapping along, having a good old time. Some of them have thrown some coins your way. I would say you can add 20 copper pieces and 5 silver pieces to your inventory.
Ooh. 20 and what?
20 CP and then 5 SP.
Okay.
Ched,
Give me a minute to find them in the
yeah.
page.
Ched, how are you reacting being in this crowd of the reveling people?
Who did he say?
You.
The people to me just seem like, beings from another planet. I smoked a bunch of weed before I got here, and then I just had another Jaeger bomb. But I feel pretty popular. Everyone who loves me is here.
Gotcha. Were you saying that to anyone in particular, by the way? Were you
I was saying that out loud to myself.
Okay. I'm going to roll to see how the people around you respond. And they just kind of give you they're giving you the worst side, and they're like, the person next to you says, you clearly were not invited. We don't know you. So this human woman says that to you, Ched.
And then I call her a racist because obviously I am a guest of honor. And she's just used to only humans being in this party. And this is
B-Rod, thanks for the host.
What?
Sorry, Chris, go on.
So this is definitely racial issues, or not? What would you call it? Species issues. Sorry, I shouldn't say some racial. Species issues. Because I'm a satyr.
No, it's because you're the only one here not dressed for the occasion, and no one here seems to know you, and you hadn't gone and spoken to either of the hosts.
Do you know who my parents are?
No, I don't know who you are.
My parents are Claudia and Jonathan.
Okay. My parents are Nevo and Lorfis.
No.
Nice to meet
Claudia and Jonathan Hiltons. You know, of the hotels of Theros.
Oh, let me see if she...
I'm so sorry. I don't know if I'm doing a terrible job at this.
First of all, I have to write down those names now so I know. So it's Claudia and Jonathan
Jonathan
Right.
Hilton.
Hilton.
I also
Great.
love that the first basic male name that came to your mind was Jonathan. Living for that.
At this point, she thinks that you're kind of just stoned out of your... she can tell that she's not going to have any good interaction with you, and so she walks away from your conversation. Nick, welcome. What was I going to say? Yes, Interplanar hotel chain. Yes. She's like, I don't know what you're talking about, and she walks away.
Am I close at all to Ched while Ched's doing this? I know he's getting food. Is that by the bar?
Yes. So you're kind of overhearing what's happening here, and hearing someone who sounds very out of place.
before I move over there, do I know who's getting married yet? Do I know who the other Leonin is? Was that on the invitation?
So you recognize Lua.
Okay.
And you can tell that who Lua is, and you can observe from where Lua is sitting and whose hand Lua is holding that he got married to George. You don't know George. You've never heard of George. Your invitation did not mention who he was getting married to, since yours was not a written invitation that had that info.
Right, but did I know it was Lua, or did
you knew it was Lua?
Okay.
But you weren't sure if you would see any other Leon in here. And there are some other Leon in here, but they do not look like they're from the same part of Oreskos as you. They look like they've been settled in Melitus for a while.
All right. What I'd like to do is I'm kind of hiding a little bit. I'm a little sheepish about going up and saying hello to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
But I did notice that whatever Chad's drinking seems to be working out pretty well for him. At least one of them could be. So I'm going to go up and ask Ched what that drink was that he had.
So Ched, before you say Jaegerbomb again, you can say that. I'm not gonna.
What is it called? Is it Jaegerbomb or Jaegerbomb?
Well, no,
That's correct.
either way, that is on Theros. That might be your slang for it. I just want to clarify what it is. There is some sort of bowl on the table that looks like, it's got a ladle to serve people out of, and it is definitely some sort of potent alcoholic beverage, and it's got a smell of almost nutmeg smell, but also very weedy.
Sorry, Jonathan, what is your character's name again?
Kopaka.
But you wouldn't know this person.
I don't know that yet. I'm going to go over and I see you eyeing the bowl and trying to grab some. I'm going to cut in line so I can get it before you.
You're cutting a line in front of me?
Yeah, kind of like more moving quickly. Not like pushing you out of the way, but moving quickly enough that I definitely get there before you do.
Bro, I heard this Jaegerbomb is amazing. Or what do we call it? We call it a what?
Oh, that's perfect.
You know what? Call it Yagos. Jaegos.
Yagos bomb.
Yagos
Bro,
bombs.
These Yagos
Something
bombs.
less German.
I'm very confused, by the way, in real life, what is funny. But I'm trying to be good at this.
Okay. I'm taking a step back real quick just to address the audience, maybe. A lot of us are relatively new to D&D. A lot of people here have only done one campaign before, or it's been a while, etc., etc. So I might be making some statements that are kind of not necessarily what I'll be doing as a DM in future sessions or as a DM if I'm DMing for an experienced group. I'm not even that experienced as a DM. So just want to clarify that since this is for with an audience and with the people here, I might be offering additional clarification or tips or hints that might be out of character for the DM role. Mostly, Chris, I think the humor is coming from you are talking about something that might not exist in this world.
Yes.
Think of a Greek version of a
Jaegerbomb. Is that stone that they've gone to a different plane mentally?
Yes. And so people here might just be like, okay, you're off the shits because you're just tanked, but if you're intending to convey information...
Listen, it is hard enough for me to convey a straight frat boy. I just want snaps for that. So I will try to add the Greek mythology on top.
Basically, I'm just saying that if you are trying to use the terminology in world as opposed to saying Jaegerbomb out of character for humor, I want to supply you with the language necessary.
So what is the language necessary for a type
We're going to call it a Jaegos instead of a Jaegerbomb, just to make it a little bit more Theran.
Okay.
Okay.
Then I'm definitely pushing Ched, just hand up against you. Let me have some. I promise you, I need a little bit more than you do right now.
Exactly.
Are we watching this?
So Alistair, you can see what's kind of happening there, and the grooms both stand up out of their seats as they start walking towards the snacks and the crowd anyway. Thank you so much for the follow, Stage Phantom. And you can see the woman who you might be able to intuit is the maid of honor for Lua based on how they've been interacting. She walks very quickly over to the Yegos bowl and goes up to Kopaka and Ched.
Can I follow her?
Am I at least allowed to throw it back before?
Oh yeah, you can. She's mostly just approaching, and she's actually coming from behind the table, so she's not interrupting. She's coming behind the table as though she belongs there. Even though right now the only other service staff are over there.
Okay.
Hey, do you like this? I made it myself.
It's very good. I think your friend here is really enjoying himself with it.
I have heard about this Yegos. Did I say that right? Okay. Yegos from so many fraternities around my campus, and they said that it was the best, and I had to attend this party. So thank you so much. What is your secret ingredients, bro?
Oh, well, I can't share all my secrets, especially since, well, I'm not sure if in your state you would be able to understand them all. But you see, as a disciple of Farika, I dabble in a few different alchemical interests, and different forms of liqueur just happen to be one of those. Going again.
It's down.
I get the error message.
Getting the facepalm error message.
Oh no, it looks like it's back. It just popped up.
It's looking good for you, Ken? Okay.
It's working again.
Okay, it's back? Okay, cool. Nub Nub, have a great night. Thanks for stopping in. Yeah, the VOD will be available on the LA Gamers Twitch channel, as well as I'm going to upload it to my YouTube page. So that'd be KYLECTRON on YouTube. I don't have a link URL handy, but I'm going to be uploading both episodes, Session 0 from last week, where we did character building and discussions of the world, as well as this one. I'm going to work on those afterwards. Yes, welcome back, Gray Fox, and also hi. Didn't see you in before because I haven't been paying super close attention to the chat, but hello, everyone. Hello. Okay, so we were talking. Oh, yes.
Our ingredients in the liqueur.
Yes, the maid of honor was talking to Ched and Kopaka. So you are a student at one of the colleges, one of these academies nearby, near here in Melitus. Is that correct?
Ched. Chris.
Sorry, my thing was freezing and I missed what Kyle was saying. It wasn't you this time. It was my screen was freezing and I was trying to get it to unfreeze.
Gotcha. I mean, that makes sense.
Say that one more time, Kyle. Sorry about that.
So the maid of honor is inquiring at you. So you mentioned fraternity and campus. Are you a part of one of the academies nearby?
Yeah, I'm a part of CTU. I'm studying, oh god, let me think of a stupid degree. I'm studying broadcast journalism, and I'm in a cool fraternity called the Alpha Beta Grex.
Huh. She's gonna make an insight check or a history check. Oh, I'm really unfamiliar, but I guess It's been a while since I've studied at one of these more formal academies.
Yeah, it's a pretty hard academy to get into, but luckily my parents paid for me to get in because my high school grades were not really great.
Interesting. And she turns to Kopaka. And what about you? How do you spend your days? Actually, you look kind of you look a bit more like Lua than the other Leon in here.
Yes, I was going to ask how you knew Lua. I got the invitation and made it here as fast as I could, but it's been forever since I've seen any of these people.
Oh. I wasn't aware Lua had any other guests here. Oh my gosh. Well, go talk to Lua. I don't think you know, but I met him when I was searching for ingredients in the Nessian wilds, and he was doing his studies with as part of his ordeal with Nylea. But I didn't realize any people were coming for Lua. Lua, and she sort of waves, and Lua notices you and looks kind of puzzled and then rushes over.
I finished my drink with a huge swig first.
Yeah.
All right. Did that. Lua, I'll sheepishly say hello to Lua.
Kopaka? You're alive. I wasn't sure if anyone had gotten my invitation or you're alive. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy. I'm so mad at you, but I'm so happy to see you. Oh gosh.
Can I just give a giant hug and interrupt him now?
Yes.
Okay. All
Make
right.
a strength check, just a general strength check about how good of a hug it is.
Is this like a loud interaction?
It's a
It
10.
is. It's a very solid
I
hug.
use the distraction to try to go under the gifts table and get those urns that I saw shining under the cloth.
So wait, so under the snack table where they're discussing around, or the gift piles on the other side of the room from the stage?
The gifts pile where I saw the urns that were kind of underneath the table.
So the urns were underneath this table. The the piles of gifts were next to the seats on the other side of the room.
Oh, I thought they were under the table. No, I don't want to go near you guys.
Okay. And your performance time is about up or whatever, so you're wrapping up on stage. So Kopaka and Lua are embraced in a hug, and then they're just kind of speechless with each other.
So you ended up with Nylea then?
I mean, there's so much to talk about. Here, let me talk to you in a few minutes. We're about to serve up some cake, but oh my gosh, would you mind meeting me in the courtyard in front of the building in, say, about 3 hours?
That works with me. I'll make sure I have some cake as well.
All right, great. So, Alistair, you've been able to hear the second half of this conversation as you approach the table with the grooms.
Mm-hmm.
And George announces to the group, "Well, everyone, thank you for joining us here on this blessed day under the sun in our beautiful city of Militus. And if you would all be so kind as to join me in a quick prayer for and reverence of Heliod on this beautiful day."
Here, here.
Mm-hmm. Other player characters, how do you react to that? Do you participate in the group reverence, or do you what's your?
I'm going to bow my head and keep my eyes open.
Yeah.
I'm being respectful, but I'm not.
Yes. So people are generally bowing their heads at the moment.
I just roll my eyes, then stand in the corner counting my coins.
Okay.
I quickly chug all of my drink and then quickly grab another drink and then bow my heads to try to look like I'm with everyone else.
Okay. As you're doing that, Ched, you notice that the woman who was just talking to you is watching you this whole time and just kind of staring you down. After that brief moment, though, George raises his head and says, "All right, everyone. Time for some cake. Please take some seats, and the waitstaff will be passing them out shortly. And while we're passing those out, would anybody like to give any speeches? Speeches, anyone?" George and Lua retreat back to where they had been sitting at the top of the room. George is excited to hear people speak, as a few different hands go up from humans in the crowd, and Lua is kind of sitting there trying to process everything. You can tell that is kind of written on his face. Alistair, you can, if you would like to, retreat back to the side of George. You can see that the maid of honor who was by the table is still kind of looking at Ched and Kopaka quizzically, and slowly retreats back to her seat beside Lua.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. I'll join them back at the table.
Okay. So right now there's some human giving some speech about how great of a guy George is and how great Lua must be if they're with George. During that time, anyone have any actions?
I'd like to start eating the cake. What flavor is it?
So they're still passing out the cake, unless you want to swipe a piece. You can't tell what flavor it is from now, but actually, what's your passive perception?
Passive perception. 12.
Okay. As the cake, so they carry the cake kind of past you. You smell it, and you don't really like it. Although you're not sure if that's a matter of not being acquired to the taste of this polis versus it just actually not being good. Also, are you the rest? So Ched and Kopaka, neither of you have a seat from, or rather, like a specific place where you were sitting earlier. Both because you did not RSVP, but also because you weren't necessarily here a few hours ago. So are you standing? Are you trying to join up at one of the tables?
I'd like to move away from Ched.
I take offense to that.
Is Aphrodite, is she still standing in the corner?
I don't know, Misha.
Yeah, I'm just standing in the corner, kind of watching everything happen. Not really like interacting with anybody.
You can see. Currently, you can tell that like everyone's mostly facing north, looking at the people giving the speeches and the reactions of the grooms, and except for the two wait staff going back and forth to the table where the cake is, and serving it to people who are patiently waiting until everyone's received their food before they start eating.
All right, I'm going to give the piece of cake that I snagged from the table since it smelled gross. I'm going to see if I can give it to Michiru.
I'm feeling sick, so I'm gonna go to the bathroom and vomit.
All right. Ched, can you make... Actually, I'm trying to think what kind of check this would be. Make some sort of general intelligence check. I want to see if you can find your way to the room with the chamber pots in your state.
Just so you guys know, and I'm trying to make it very clear, my character is of very low intelligence. I know that will be a shocker to you guys.
Also, because you're more inebriated than usual, I would like you to make that check with disadvantage. So roll 2 and use the lower one.
Let me. I rolled 2. Okay, my first roll was 1.
Okay.
Okay.
So it's a crit fail.
Was 4. Yes.
Okay. So you kind of just generally wander out of the courtyard, and you find a room that you think is full of chamber pots, and you start defecating, vomiting, and urinating wildly into that area.
Wildly.
Kidding.
Ew.
Michiru, you said you're in the corner.
Jonathan acts like he has not done this before.
It's the kitchen.
Not defecating and urinating and vomiting wildly at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Just one of those.
At the same time.
Which one?
Very talented person, thank you.
So
And not with a satyr half of my body.
Can I walk over and join the other two that are having a pleasant conversation and ignore the satyr that's drunkenly telling
So Kopaka was offering me some cake.
Yeah, I would like to walk over and converse.
I
All the
cannot.
humans are drunkenly toasting each other.
okay.
Michiru, is it thrilling performance? I wasn't aware your kind were capable of such dance movements. It's
You
quite
can call me
impressive.
Ampharit, actually.
I beg your pardon?
You can call me Ampharit.
Ampharit, apologies. The
Actually, I don't think I've
ways of
introduced
those
myself.
who dress contrary to their gender is foreign to me.
Yes. This is my stage name. Thank you. I have been training for years. I was originally part of a traveling circus.
Fascinating. I wasn't aware that we had many of those left in Theros.
It was more of a entertaining show. At first, I did a lot of water acrobatics, but I wanted to do more stuff on
Michiru,
land. So
Michiru, I wanted to let you know that you were hired for this event by George. George is the one who was going to pay you, by the way, or is going to pay you.
do you know when they're planning to pay me for this? How long I need to stay? I was not asked to do a meet and greet, so I don't know what this is that we're doing right now, but they didn't pay for this.
Would you like some cake?
Oh, thank you. I could not while I'm performing. I have a corset that would not let me digest anything I put in my mouth right now.
At this moment, you hear a round of applause as though a speech has just finished, and George says, "Well, with that, let's all take a bite of this cake as my love Lua and I take a bite into our new life." All the guests and the grooms take a bite of the cake and immediately fall to the floor. Knocked out.
I'm getting paid, right?
So anyone like to look around,
I
see
did
what's
not.
going on?
I did not have a bite of the cake, right? Because I thought it tasted.
Correct.
gross.
You didn't eat the cake. Alistair and Ampharit / Michiru were in conversation. Ched is not in the room. But Ched returns from the bathroom and
Feeling great, feeling 100.
sees a room full of people that are knocked unconscious, except for you few and one other person.
Who's still conscious?
Who's the other person? Is it the woman?
It is the maid of honor, who looks completely aghast.
I'm gonna run over and check on the grooms to see if there's any signs that they're still alive.
I'm gonna go check on some of the guests, and as I do them, I see if they have any jewelry that's worth stealing.
And I'm gonna run over and check on Lua specifically.
Okay.
I'm gonna go over and drink some Oyagos.
Okay. By the way, the wait staff also took a bite of the cake and fell over.
Perfect. More Yagos.
Eating on the job.
Can I do an insight check to see if I understand how they were poisoned?
Yes.
Do I find any jewelry?
22.
Say it again.
Do I
22.
find any jewelry on any of the guests? Oh, sorry.
You can tell that something was in the cake that made it like toxic, and you can smell the cake, and even you are able to kind of tell that something is really off with it, and that it was definitely some sort of thing that was in the cake but not really visible. But you can't identify exactly what the nature of it was based on your background.
I'm gonna ready my weapons.
Oh, 1 second. What did you say, Michiru? You were asking about your what you found?
As I'm like pretending to check on the guests, I'm scanning to see if any of them have any jewelry worth stealing.
Yes.
Do I find?
So the first few people you look at, one of them has a ring, a sapphire ring.
Okay.
And the other one has 2 silver pieces in their pocket.
Do I take them?
Do you?
So
I mean,
I understand that everyone is dead. Like they've been poisoned,
Well,
or are they
You
just knocked out?
so it looks like they are on the verge of death, but they are not yet fully dead. They are unconscious, but they're fading slowly. Is what you can tell based on your background and your insight into the situation.
Okay.
The woman is like comes up to you. Oh my gosh, what happened?
It appears they've been poisoned in some way. Who would do this?
I don't know. I know George is rather popular, but popular people sometimes have enemies.
Lots of people have enemies. However, there are several people at this wedding that are still conscious. I think we should investigate them. No one should leave until we have some answers. We need to seal off the premises.
All right. In that meantime, I will do what I can to try to think of how we can help stabilize these guests. I can't tell how much longer they will have.
Do you need any regents? Anything I can go into town and get?
Give me a minute to brainstorm. In fact, maybe I should just go ahead and pray to Farika for some insight into how to heal them.
Do what you think is best. In the interim, I'll be questioning the other guests.
Okay. So Kopaka is kneeling over Lua, and Kopaka, with your passive perception, you can hear a very faint heartbeat in Lua. So you can tell that Lua is not quite dead, but you're not sure how close to death this unconscious person is.
All right. Holy water doesn't do anything, right?
Try it. So you would have still had your adventuring gear on.
Yeah.
Alistair may have had a few weapons, but like some of your other adventuring gear items might be in the coat closet, or rather a room full of containers that would be off to the side. That, like I said, has some containers on the ground and some hanging materials.
Could I do a medicine check and see if there's anything that could be done?
Yeah.
Okay.
So then I remember that there were some items under the table with the food.
Mm-hmm.
I rolled a 1.
Can I go check to see what was in there?
Yes, you can, Michiru, but I'll need you to make a stealth check unless you're unless you don't care about the other people seeing. And
No, I'm just trying because I remember from my performance I saw something suspicious. So now it's not about looting; I'm actually curious.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, so just Kopaka, yeah, you with your 1 in medicine, you're like, let me think. If eating the cake was bad, if I give them more cake, maybe that'll undo it. That's the thought that crosses your mind.
Has Alistair left yet?
No.
Okay.
And Alistair, who are you going to approach to start questioning?
Kopaka's
Kopaka's the closest.
Yeah, I'm going to start with Kopaka.
Okay, pause 1 second. Michiru, under the table, you find a few urns with coins and a piece of mosaic tile art that depicts Heliod. That was just kind of leaned against the urn somewhat haphazardly, and 2 emeralds.
Okay.
Or at least what you think are regular emeralds. Okay, but let me get back to Alistair and Kopaka real quick.
Before Alistair gets a chance to come over and question me, I'd like to shout at Alistair in Minotaur, and ask what happened to them, what happened to Lua.
Alistair, I imagine you'd be taken aback from this lean and speaking Minotaur.
So, okay. Multiple questions. First of all, why do you speak Minotaur? Second of all, we'll get to that later. Third of all, everyone's been poisoned. We need to figure out some way to counteract the poison. I have an ability that I can use that naturally heals people that I can try later, but I'd like to see if we can find an alchemical solution before we try to use magic.
So more cake is not the answer.
No, more cake poisoned them. Giving them more of what poisoned them will almost certainly make them work. I'm beginning to question your intelligence.
Kopaka is trying to internalize that. Speaking of low intelligence beings, Ched has finished chugging more of the was it Jaegus?
Yes.
And notices the commotion, at least.
Yeah, I was gonna make a some sort of check on the staff to see if like the staff were in on it because they were the ones serving the cake.
All right. So
should
I
I
need you to do two things real quick, Chad. One, can you make a general Constitution roll? So D20 plus your Constitution modifier to see how quickly you're sobering up, but do it with advantage because you're used to partying.
16.
Okay. So after your violent vomiting and purging through both ends of your body, in the other room, you have started to sober up a little bit. And can you make an insight check? Ooh, kitty.
Right in my chair. Sorry.
Can you make some sort of... Actually, go ahead and do an investigation check on the waitstaff.
Okay. 15.
Okay. You can see that they are clearly unconscious in the same way that these other people are, at least to the best of your understanding. And through looking at their pockets or their uniforms, it looks like they would just be regular waitstaff, although you're not really sure who they were hired through or even what building you're in. So
What did you say?
You're not entirely sure about what their credentials would be, but they seem legit to you.
It's just weird because there's wait staff that must have eaten cake. So that means someone involved must have been like, "Hey guys, eat some cake before," you know what I mean, to even the wait staff. So this was definitely planned.
Also, with your investigation, Chad, if you look at a piece of cake, and you smell it, and it smells rank.
And I just vomited, so like that means smells really rank.
So, to the side, you can see that the woman with the partial veil is...
For everyone.
Yeah, this is for everyone.
Okay.
She is not she's conspicuously grabbing some of the flowers that were decorating the room as part of the adornment and kind of rustling them together and grabbing some of her, and she has a cup of her own Yegos, and she's mixing them into some sort of brew that she's sniffing the fumes of in the corner.
Ladies, what is she doing?
Would I be able to do a perception check on what, or would that be an insight check on what that is?
I would say that make a religion check.
Religion, okay. Ooh, a 20.
Okay.
20.
You believe that this is a ritual connected to one of the gods, and based on what you thought you heard from her and what she's wearing, you're pretty sure that she's associated with Farika, the god of affliction. So she's the god of both toxins, poisons, but also healing and medicine. And this kind of alchemical brew might be something where she's trying to either commune with her god and get some insight from her god, or maybe she's working on, maybe it's a healing potion that she's trying to get right.
I'd like to quickly interrupt Alistair from questioning me more about my cake ideas and ask him, do we trust her? Do we know what she's doing?
I don't know anything about her other than that she was invited by one of the grooms.
Wait, that's not the maid of honor?
She is the maid of honor. So she was trusted.
You don't know the maid of honor and you're the best man?
We haven't been introduced as of yet. It's been a very long, arduous ceremony, and I've done my best not to intermingle with the humans, as most of them aren't particularly fond of Minotaur.
And now they're all on the ground, no thanks to you.
Your criticisms help us very little in this situation.
I'd like to rush over to her and ask her if she are you able to save Lua? Are you able to save them?
She's wafting her concoction and then kind of stares at you as though you'd broken a trance. She's like, "Don't interrupt me. I'm trying to figure that out." And so she goes back to look, kind of just smelling her fumes of her concoction.
Can I do a check to make sure that we're not alone, that we're alone here, that there's no one else,
Yeah.
about that.
Make a perception check.
And I
X.
try to go like.
Wait, what? Pause 1 sec, Jamil. Say that again, Chet.
6.
6. Okay. You don't see anyone else around other than you 5 being Kopaka, Ched, Mishiru, Alistair, and this woman. What were you saying, Kopaka? Or Jonathan? Or sorry, not Kopaka. Jamil / Mishiru /
Oh, I was gonna ask if there's like a kitchen, servants' quarters, like any sort of like backstage area that I can go see if there's anybody there.
So based on your knowledge of this building, you know that there are other rooms here, and you got to put your stuff in a separate area from the other coat check / closet where things were being kept. So you know that there are other rooms in this building.
Okay.
If you want, you can go and check some of those out.
Yeah, I figured it also might be good for me to get my gear or
Mhm.
just my general stuff because I'm in my performance outfit.
Yeah.
And things are a little bit sketch, so I kind of want to go get my stuff.
Okay.
Can I walk back over to the woman and to Kopaka?
Yes. Let me do the Mishiru thing real quick, and then I'll do your thing. So, Kopaka, you walk over to the two. There's the room where the other guests got to put their stuff, and then you had your kind of dressing room area, which is right next to it. What's your passive perception?
Oh, you mean me?
Yeah.
10.
Okay. So as you walk past the room for the plebs, for the other party guests, you smell a very terrible, terrible smell coming out of that room. And also, I'm going to have to change where the names are now, because I think when Chris left, the placements shifted around, so let me change names. But
Oh, no.
yeah.
Sorry, Kyle.
No, it's okay. Like, I didn't expect that to happen, but or I didn't realize that would even be an issue. So you're good. But yes, Mishiru smells bad stuff from the room where the other kind of guests kept their belongings.
Okay. Debating if I go check it in now or do I go get my stuff and then check it. I feel like I am suspicious about what's going on in that room, so I want to at least have my equipment. So I just go get my stuff and then I'll come back and check. Definitely want to be prepared to check whatever's in there.
Okay, cool. So I'll say that is your turn. And then, so Alistair, what were you saying you were going to do?
So I was going to walk back over to Kopaka and the woman.
Okay.
Can I talk to the woman? Any progress?
No, before he gets a chance to do that, I want to
Mhm.
comment him not to. She's in the middle of something.
With her eyes still closed, she's like, just give me a few more minutes, please. I'm trying to get in touch with Farika about what this could even be, because this poison isn't like something I'm familiar with. It's not something that I recognize.
Can I check the bodies again to see how well they're doing?
Yeah. Can you make a medicine check to check their vitals?
17.
All right. You can tell that they, at least the person you were going up to, like
Sure.
they maybe have minutes left before they completely die. Like you think that they're they're unconscious and their heartbeat is slowing.
Okay. Can I use my lay on of hands to heal George specifically? Since it's only a one-shot thing if I'm removing a disease or a poison from someone.
I will say yes, but we'll do that on your next turn.
Okay.
Ched, what are you up to?
I'll be right back. I'm gonna go to the bathroom.
Okay.
What would be necessary to kind of help everyone? I'm trying to figure that out.
Well, what does your character think?
Do you even want to help?
Yes, but I think my character's probably utterly confused about like what is going on because he does not know any of the people here. So I feel like my character is probably completely paralyzed in fear. but because I don't really know what to do except for making it.
Well,
do you call
you can go try to talk to
Perception.
the other people.
So, does like anyone know here like why would any of these people be poisoned? Like this just seems really lame, and I just feel like I heard that this was a really great party. I don't know if I signed up for any of this. Does anyone know where the best exit is?
So, in response to that, the woman yells, "Can people please stop interrupting me? You weren't even invited."
I'd like to grab Chet and take him aside and ask if there's anybody. If you've been to a lot of parties here in Theros, or what's the city's name?
Melitus.
In Melitus, right? Melitus, right?
Yes.
You've been to a lot of parties here, right, Ched?
Yeah, I've seen like most of these people out at like one point or another, but I don't know any of their names.
Has this ever happened before?
No, I mean I've seen pretty people like get drunk and like pass out before, but like not all at once. And like they smell really rancid. Like I think that it must have been some sort of poisoning. Even the wait staff is all like knocked out, and I'm like pretty sure they're hired by like a legitimate company, so I don't even know why they're passed out.
All right. Kopaka, it is now your turn in initiative if you would like to do something.
Okay. There's not much I can do. Just to be clear, Alistair is working. The woman's still working. Jamil, what's it? Name. Amperite left the room, so it's basically just the only person I can talk to right now is Ched.
Yes. Unless you wanted to interrupt Alistair heading towards George or the woman who has requested not to be interrupted.
Yeah.
Is there like an insight check where we can kind of get towards what you think would be good for this? You know, like how we were talking about doing insight checks to kind of get like an insight as to what would be good to progress the story or whatever. Could we make one of those rolls? Is that like, would that be helpful now or?
So people are making some insights into whether or not, like, for example, they believe the characters or if they can tell like the general vibe of things. Like when you made an insight check on the wait staff, or actually you made an investigation check, but if they were alive, you'd make it. Good night, tags. Have fun.
Oh,
No, sorry. Thank you. We will have fun and catch you later.
Would I be able to do a perception check to make sure that there's no dogs?
Yes.
Understand the difference between perception, insight, and oh god, what was the other one? Perception, insight, and investigation.
So perception is what you is the data you're observing. Mm-hmm. Insight is interpreting people's either interpreting the data or interpreting what people mean, like the subtleties in what they're saying, or generally like, oh, I see these people here. I'm insightful enough to think, yeah, this looks like a wedding.
Yeah.
The last time something this traumatic happened to me, dogs were involved. So I'd like to make sure I just do a perception check to make sure that there's no dogs.
With your passive perception, based on your experience with with dogs, you are pretty aware of like what they'd smell like or sound like, or if there's any in your immediate proximity, and you don't notice any dogs nearby.
Okay.
At least in game, behind you, you might want to look.
Yeah, I mean, there's one. Okay. Yeah, I'd like to do that and make sure. And there's nothing magical coming out from the ground. There's no like earthquakes or anything.
Do you want to? Okay, so make a. Do you have detect magic, or do you just make a general? In that case, I would say make a wisdom check. Just make a general wisdom check, I guess.
14.
Okay. So you don't notice or feel any particular like exterior magical aura other than knowing that you are in a place where people have been worshiping or communing with different gods and beckoning them, welcoming their blessings into this space. So you feel a general glow of enchantment in the area, but you're not able to quite distinguish if it has to do with this.
Okay.
Or it's not specifically from the floor. But
Alright.
Alistair, you're trying to revive George, is that right?
Yep.
Alright. So tell me what the spell you're gonna cast again?
So I have an ability called Lay On of Hands Pool.
Okay.
It allows me to heal either one person up to 5 HP.
Vaporaho, thank you so much for the follow. Sorry,
Yeah,
say that again.
So I have an ability called Lay On of Hands Pool. It's a pool of magical energy. All paladins have this ability because paladins are healers. We use the light to heal people.
Mm-hmm.
But this particular ability, I can heal one person up to 5 HP or 5 people up to 1 HP or any variation thereof. I can also use it to cure one person of poisoning or disease. And I would like to use it to cure George.
Okay. So before that happens, I'm going to say it's time for us to take our quick break.
Perfect.
And so when we come back, we will see. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Can you all see and hear us? Thank you so much for the host, Flame Scion. And also welcome, Flame Scion, Fronda 1002. Hello. Yes, hello Gamerinos. Welcome back, everyone. Yes, we're back. Indeed. Okay. So during that break, we got a bite to eat, drink, etc. But we're about to see if Lay on Hands Pool from Alistair, the Minotaur Paladin, was going to work on the target being George, one of the men getting married. So let me read this description here. So you can restore total number of hit points equal to your paladin level times 5. Well, you are a level 1 paladin.
Thanks for reminding me.
Alternatively, you can expend 5 hit points from your pool of healing to cure the target of one disease or neutralize one poison affecting it. You can cure multiple diseases and neutralize multiple poisons with a single use of Lay on Hands. Granted, you have the hit points for it. Okay. So, are you going to try to replenish vitality or to cure a disease or poison?
Cure a disease or poison.
Okay. Great. Thank you for Flame Sign for letting us know that it's all working. Because I've had times where on my own personal stream, I legitimately was streaming for 45 minutes before someone told me I had been muted. Like, because I was doing this other segment where I was like recording and not necessarily interacting with people, I was speaking for 45 minutes before someone let me know that I was muted. Anyway, okay, so you try to neutralize the poison in George, and so you put your hands on him. The glow, the sun bright aura radiates from your hands as George also glows a bit. And you can see George kind of do a little bit of a hiccup as he's still unconscious, but his breathing is a little bit more steady instead of the very slow, shallow heartbeat he had before. It's still rather slowed, but it is not as slowed as it was before. You don't think he's at he's seems like regular unconscious as opposed to teetering on the edge of death like the other people are.
Understood. So I preserved his life, but still not made him conscious. I'll take it.
Okay. Ched.
Yes.
so you had been pulled to this. Oh wait, everyone's in a different place again. Let me move the names around. Okay, so like, Jonathan, Chris, Cannon, Jamil. Okay. I don't know why Zoom moves the people around when the people disappear. Actually, it does make sense because they put the noun screens in the bottom right. Okay. Anyway, so Ched,
Yeah.
you've been pulled aside by Kopaka. You notice that the woman in the veil, the maid of honor, has a moment where she kind of puts her head back, opens her eyes suddenly, and as though she has had a moment of inspiration. And she turns to face you, takes a deep breath, and says, okay, I might be able to keep them steady for a bit, but I cannot cure them.
Oh, bro. I'm trying to think of an actual check to help.
You can further converse with her or ask her more.
Is there any? I don't know if you know this, but like I'm really great at playing the lute. Is there anything that I can do to help you with like helping? You know?
I don't believe that would help me with the stabilization or anything, but it could be useful if you're. Do you usually perform in honor of one of the gods, trying to get their attention, maybe, or hell? I mean, I don't know if you would like to beseech Farika yourself and see if you would have any better luck finding information out. But if you've not been a devotee, I don't know how helpful she'll be.
Trying to think.
Can you make a religion check, Ched?
Yes. 6.
All right. You don't know much about what appeals to Farika or what really flies in terms of what would be helpful specifically with that god, but you do know that according to the feedback you receive, people like when you play your instrument.
Yes, so I'm gonna do a performance check for my instrument.
Are you doing any specific songs, or what are you doing with your lute?
Well, I think the best one that I can do is the Reveler, which will help the proficiency of persuasion and performance skills. I think that's honestly most of these. I'm trying to look at them. I don't think will be helpful for. I can just do Bardic Inspiration. Wait, yeah. Which can gains. That can hear you gains an inspiration die for 10 minutes. The creature can add it to one ability check.
Cool.
I'll just do that.
All right, so every character, you now have the ability to, on one of your rolls, if you don't really like the roll you got, you can roll 1d6 and add that to your roll it could be an attack, it can be an ability check, a saving throw, etc. So you've been gifted the inspiration to add that to one of your future rolls for the turn or until the day ends, I think.
Do I have to...
I'm sorry, for 10 minutes. For the next 10 minutes, that'll work.
Yes. Okay.
So, and that's a... Okay.
Are we still going in turn order?
Yes. And Jonathan, you are next.
Okay. What do I know much about the city I'm in currently? You said I don't spend much time.
Can you make a history check with disadvantage?
With disadvantage?
I should just make a history. Must make a history check.
Ooh, that's actually pretty good. I got an 18.
All right. Well, you know about the Polies generally because you live in Theros. You know that this is one of the most major cities. That the patron god of the city is Afara, and that it's that you would imagine that this city populated with lots of people and shops and priding itself in both its intelligence and value of the arts, that there's probably some sort of doctor or medical people in the city that you might be able to ask for help. Or there's people, you imagine that there's at least some sort of shops around that might have something that could help you all, but you don't know specifically where you would go.
Do I know that Therosians like to use window cleaner for a lot of
I really can't.
You know what? You know nothing about Theran glass cleaning culture.
Okay. All right.
Unless you want to make... Yeah, I'm going to say no, because you don't really have windows where you usually live.
That's a very fair point. Okay. Let's see. I was just talking to Ched. Ched just played a song for all of us. The woman's done with her. The woman's done with her chanting.
Mm-hmm.
Could I go up to her and ask, what did you do? Who are you? What do we do next?
Well, if you must know, my name is Talia, and as I mentioned earlier, I'm a disciple of Farika. I know that you know Lua, or knew Lua, but I've known Lua for a while, and I want to do whatever I can to make sure that he survives this affliction. It doesn't seem like anything I recognize from my alchemical studies or study of afflictions. And my communion with Farika was more so about if I had a way to immediately help. But, well, she evaluates in her head if she trusts you enough to share certain information, and rules that even though she might not trust you, she knows that she doesn't have a lot of options. And she expresses to you, well, sometimes Farika hides the cures to ailments in very, very precarious situations, by which, of course, I mean on the bones of dragons or in the bodies of hydras that must be slain to recover those secrets. But I don't know if she would even give you the information of where to find such a beast that would contain the cure to whatever affliction this may be.
Is this why Nylea sent the boar to me?
What boar?
The boar that sent me the invitation.
Sorry, say that again?
The boar that sent me the wedding invitation.
Oh, well, I don't know anything about that, but that sounds very much like something Lua may have done. But I don't think that would have any association with Farika. Farika doesn't usually deal with these boars. But she does like Nylea.
She's a follower of Nylea, though, right?
Say it again?
Alia's a follower of Nylea?
No, she's a follower of Farika.
Oh, Farika. Okay. All right.
Um,
Nylea and Farika work together?
They have a generally good relationship, but like all gods, they have their squabbles. But not... Farika usually tries to treat Nylea well. I'm going to shift turns.
Okay.
And we're going to go to Jamil, who just was recovering Mishiru's belongings from the dressing room next to the general guest closet, or the coat closet, which you thought smelled bad.
Yeah, so I have my stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so then I go and check the coat closet.
So do you have weapons drawn, or like what is your status with that stuff?
So my equipment... Where is it? Where's my starting equipment? I don't have anything. I thought I had two short swords. That's what I picked. Yeah, so I have my two short swords. I'm still in drag, but I have my pack with me, and I have one of my swords in hand, just in case.
Okay. So you enter the room and are immediately overwhelmed by the stench, and you look around you, and you see pools of... Make a nature check.
What?
Make a nature check.
not sure. 8.
Okay. You can tell that this is waste from someone who seems to have it thrown up or shat all over or pissed all over. You can't tell if this was a human or who did this. It does not look like Triton droppings.
Oh my God.
But you can see that is apparently the source of this smell, and it is all over people's belongings in this room.
I can't.
Stumbling idiot. So do I find, before I run out of here, do I find anything of use?
Make a perception check.
Okay. 4.
You see that there might be some things, like there's like containers with guests things, but the only ones you can look into are obscured by waste.
Yeah, this is not worth my time. I am out of here. Okay. And I rush back to the main room.
Okay. Alistair, it is your turn.
So I'm gonna immediately notice that Mirichu has disappeared and come back, so I'm gonna run over to her and ask, what did you find? Anything useful?
I found your friend over there's leavings in the code closet, so I wouldn't go for any of your items. If you have anything in there, I would consider it lost forever. Other than that, there don't seem to be anybody else in the building. I didn't see anybody in the room where my stuff was kept. So, is there anything else I can help you with?
Not at present.
Okay. Alistair, are you going to keep your eye kind of on George, or you're going to keep talking to Michiru? Anything else?
I'm going to go back over to George and make sure that he's okay. I don't think I have any other abilities that I can use that would be beneficial in this situation. Okay. I have something that can detect undead or evil, but I don't know that would be useful because it could only help me detect things that are visible. I don't think that's what's going on here.
Okay. Unless you wanted to, detect evil on the cake or something.
Oh, I could try that.
Just presenting that as an option you're allowed to do.
What did you say? Perform what on the cake? I'm so sorry.
I have an ability called Divine Sense, which lets me detect if evil is around. I can use it twice per long rest, and I'll use one charge of it now to see if there's any evil anywhere within the courtyard.
Okay. Do you have to make a sort of check? That just is a spell that's going to work, right? Or it's a feat. So you sense a generally a pernicious aura surrounding the remaining cake, because there's a little bit of the cake left on the table that was not eaten, and the bites of cake kind of splattered throughout. Like there's a vague evil aura from it that is matching the scents you might pick up from it.
Okay.
It was Nick.
All in my turn there.
Okay. And Ched.
Yeah, bro. I'm trying to think. I'm still helping everyone's checks and everything.
Oh, should I have done? I guess it doesn't matter. I wasn't in the room.
You were doing some dude on your lute.
Yeah, but I wasn't in the room, so I wouldn't have heard his song.
Oh.
Go ahead. Did you say, Kyle?
No, I was just saying that you were playing your lute.
Yes. So should I just play that for another 10 minutes, or I'm trying to think of any other skills that would be useful.
Well, were you listening to the conversation between Kopaka and Talia?
I could really hear little bits of it, but I didn't understand all of it.
So would your character ask her to repeat it, or would you just ignore it and keep strumming?
I would say, bro, are we gonna die? What is happening? I wanted to crash the biggest party of my life. I don't want my parents to be mad at me and be really pissed off. I mean, they're probably going to think that I killed all these people. This is the worst
So
situation.
Talia interrupts you and is like, okay, settle down, Chad Chaddington. I don't know why you have to bring your parents into this, but no, as long as you don't eat the cake, you're not going to die. As I was telling your furry friend here, well, I guess you're pretty furry too. Gosh, us humans have it lucky when it comes to hair care, don't we? Anyway, if you want to guarantee to find a cure, you might have to ask Farika if you can locate the beast that would hold the answer, because I don't even know what it is we're dealing with here. I can do my best to use my healing to keep them stable for a while, but I don't know if I can, how long I can sustain them.
Where can we ask her that?
So, as you say that, the kind of the flask that Talia had been holding when she was communing with Farika, the steam glows green and then disappears as the flowers all around the room that had been decorations wilt and fall to the floor. And some flowers form directly in front of you and fall in what looks like a very particular pattern formation. Also, so one of the flowers falls on Ched's head and disintegrates, and it kind of burns a bit, and then a black stem emerges from the top of Ched's skull and wraps around one of Ched's horns and sprouts a 3-petaled flower. One petal is crimson, one petal is golden, and one petal is a deep green. But if you look at the floor, a lot of the flowers wilted and died in what looks like just a random falling pattern, but some of them look like they are explicitly in some sort of shape.
What were the colors again? Crimson and deep green, and what was the other one?
Gold.
So I'm gonna do. Can I do a perception check on my own horn?
In a second. I'm gonna say it's now Kopaka's turn.
Could I do an insight check for the flowers?
Yes. Actually, can you make insight check?
I rolled a 10, and I'm gonna do that D6 now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, 4, so 14.
Okay. You can tell that this was a very purposeful action that happened right after you asked how you could commune with Farika. And based on what you were hearing from Talia, who mentioned how Farika is the god of affliction, you can kind of intuit that maybe this was a sign from Farika. But you're also not, you'd probably want to you would need to make a religion check to make sure it's like Farika and couldn't be someone else. But you believe it would probably be Farika who did this.
Okay.
The flowers falling was pretty conspicuous. And so the others in the room also noticed this. So Michiru and Alistair, would you like to come walk over by where the patterned flowers fell?
I would.
Yes.
Okay. So priority will go to Michiru now, or initiative rather, turn order. Michiru, what do you want to ask, say, or do?
Okay, so the flower is on his horn, correct?
So there is a flower that emerged and wrapped around Ched's horn. All the flower decorations that were adorned around the room wilted and died, and a bunch of the dead flowers kind of just gathered in a very specific area that's like they would not naturally fall there. And it seems that they're in some sort of arrangement.
Okay. So I asked Lydia. Lydia? What's her name? Natalia?
Talia?
Talia, if she had anything to do with us.
I mean, I didn't cause these to wilt, but I bet this was Farika answering your call. I mean, just look at the flowers. They seem to be, well, these petals seem to look like almost... Is that a... And she doesn't quite finish her thought as she's kind of wrapped up in her head. You can look at the arrangement, and let me see what kind of check I'd want you to make to see if you know what it is. I would say make a history check with advantage.
Okay. So how do I do that?
So make a history check, but you're going to roll for it twice and use the better roll.
Okay.
Because you're well-traveled.
24.
All right.
I did a B. Is that a B?
What?
It looked like there was a B.
That's a 20.
Oh, that's a 20. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, you know, throughout your performing career, and also your just general travels and etc., you know Theros well, and you can tell that the general pattern has fallen as though it was outlining a map of Theros, but there's a specific wilted stem that's going from where you are in Melitus, northwest towards the land of the Minotaurs.
Okay. So
And you, let me give you a more specific. Let me pull up my map so I can say the right thing, because I didn't write this down. So it looks like it would be east of Akros, in like one of the mountain ranges.
So, well, the first thing I do is I point to it and I tell everybody, so I know my fair share of maps thanks to all the traveling I've done, and this looks like a map of Theros. You guys, has anybody noticed this happening on the floor?
I feel like I would know this because I've been around a lot of Theros.
I would definitely notice this.
I would recognize this and tell you that it leads east of Akros, which is the land of Minotaurs, where I grew up.
Yeah, and Alistair, you might be able to know more. You might even say, "I know exactly where that is."
I know exactly where that is.
Yeah, after having it pointed out, you all can definitely see what is being pointed out. Yeah.
Does this means the gods want us to go there or stay away from there? Because that is clearly a wilted plant leading there.
Well, Talia says, this came after asking if you could communicate with Farika to figure out where you could find a cure for this. Unfortunately, it might not be as simple as going there and just finding an answer. It's most likely that the cure for the affliction the cure you seek for this unknown affliction is probably written on the bones of some sort of monster that lives where this map is pointing.
Do we know who could have done this? Why someone would afflict them?
Are you asking me?
You, Alistair, you're the ones closest to them. Why was this party targeted?
I have no idea. But I do know that there is a guest here who was not invited, a guest here who was invited, but that Lua didn't know was alive and didn't even want to talk to Lua right away. That'd be you, Kopaka. Alistair, was a very reliable friend here, but I also don't know very much about him besides that. And I know that Lua was maybe a little suspicious of his relationship with George. And then you, Ampharit, or should I say, Mishiru, I know not the most about you, but I know that you were pretty interested in your paycheck.
I came here for a performance and I delivered. Frankly, I don't really care for these people, but I'm not leaving this until I get paid because this was a high-paying job. So
Well-
I will do whatever it needs to do for me to get paid.
Well, it seems like your benefactor is lying there unconscious on the floor with who knows how long until he could survive.
Well, that is my next question. Do they have enough time for us to go on this mission and come back?
So, what are your passive perceptions?
10.
Oh,
Okay. So actually, this is pretty obvious. So Ched, on you feel some sort of movement and reach up and touch your horn and realize that your flower is moving once again. And it grows a single leaf that wilts and falls to the floor next to another pile of leaves. This is a pile of like wilted petals and leaves that is offset from everything else. And the petal that just fell then moves away from the pile.
Say that last part one more time. Sorry.
So something fell from your head into a conspicuous pile of leaves and or petals, and then it moved away from the pile, just like off to the side into the open space. So I will, let's move on to Cannon's turn. If someone wants to react or look at that, you have priority. Alistair.
I'm just going to adjust the group and say I think it's obvious we've been given a sign from the gods. In order to save these people at this wedding, we're going to have to journey to wherever it is that this map leads us. We're going to have to obtain these regents. We're going to have to bring them back.
I hope
Is
we're
there
able.
anyone who disagrees with this course of action?
I hope
If
we're able.
not, you'll meet the swift end of my sword.
I'm assuming that means I can't just wait for you guys to come back.
No. We probably will have some need of your talents. And the faster we come back, the faster you get paid.
Fine. I mean, if it means I help you guys stay alive, I will go. Otherwise, I will not get my paycheck.
The unfortunate truth is, although I don't know much about George's husband, George and I fought in the army for a very long time. We killed a lot of people. There's probably a significant amount of enemies that would come after him that try to ruin this day for him. I'm determined to discover the identity of whoever did this, and I need your help. Kopaka, are you
Have my
in?
axes.
Say it again.
You have my axes.
And what of the satyr? What does he think?
Well, I have this giant wilting shit on my horn, so I'm pretty pissed off. I cannot go to our fraternity party next week with this awful looking thing on my face, so I will absolutely be doing it. There should be nothing obstructing my beauty.
Excellent. You can start by cleaning out the storeroom, which you so nefariously soiled earlier.
We don't have time for that. We need to go.
And you have
We
very
leave our
little white.
gear, which has
That
been
hurt a
soiled by
little bad.
you.
Oh wait, I couldn't hear that. Ken and Jonathan, you were overlapping.
Go ahead, John.
I was going to ask, do you at least wipe before you go? You're a little matted in your fur.
So at this point, I'm gonna say if you all want to look at other parts of the room, like other piles of flowers, or talk to Talia, go ahead and do it freeform out of
But what happens if I reach to the flowers on Chad's head? Not touch them, but reach.
Ched. Any reaction from you?
You are welcome to reach. I would not like to ruin my hands on this disgusting plant. So if you would like to ruin your hands, go for it.
All right. So you're gonna reach for it, and you're giving a tug on what, the stem or the petals?
Well, let's say I go to touch the gold petal.
Okay.
Because That's what attracts me.
So you're just touching it, right?
Yeah, just reaching out, just like out of curiosity, like, okay, let me just.
It feels like a normal flower petal to you.
Okay. So at least we know we can touch this without it harming us.
It makes me feel better because I just don't want anything rotting my beautiful face. I have a very sensitive skincare regimen when I'm not vomiting.
Also, I don't think that flower's real gold, but. Okay.
So Talia.
Can I take, before we continue, can I take a piece of the cake and put it in like a satchel?
Yes. So are you putting it loose? You wrapping it multiple times? Well, like how are you approaching this?
I mean, I guess I'll grab some tablecloth, rip it in half, grab a handful of cake, put it in the tablecloth, put that in a satchel, then put that in another waterproof satchel, and then I'll carry that. Because it's obviously quite toxic and smelly. But it might be useful along the way if people can identify what this poison is.
Talia is hearing your preparations and chimes in, well, I think that it's best that I stay here and mend these people for as long as I can, but you'll need to be really quick. I don't know how long they have, and also, I am but mortal, and I don't know how much of this tending I can do by myself with my resources.
Okay, well, you do what you can. Try to keep them alive. If you need to pick, you choose George.
No.
That's the person that you keep alive. Clearly, George is very important to Alistair over here, so
Correct.
definitely want to keep him alive.
Important to me.
No other reasons.
I am legitimately Lua's maid of honor, so I understand that kind of bond, and you don't need to sway me just because he's the one who will be sending you your coins. What I really need, what would be more helpful, is if maybe you, on your way out, you can maybe direct some medics towards me to maybe have some help keeping these people stable.
We'll be sure to stop at the local apothecary and send some medicinal people your way.
Thank you.
Well, we should also alert the guards. We need to protect these people while they're unconscious. Last we need is some sort of rogue or assassin coming in here and killing them.
Yes, that's the last thing we need.
Yeah. Not that I'm familiar with such things.
Fair. She kind of gives you a glare, but says, but do we know who we can trust? Like, I don't even know if I can trust you all to go and do this.
You can trust me.
Say that again, Cannon.
I was just gonna say, firstly, you don't have much of a choice. We're the only people you can trust in this instance, regardless of what your personal feelings on the matter are. Secondly, I assure you, George's safety and happiness are nothing but the utmost importance to me. The Paladins live by a very strict code of honor and duty, and I always abide by it.
And I live by the strict code of I need to get paid.
I understand and respect
you can at least
parts
trust
of both
my
of you.
creed to get me to come back.
You know what? I'll give that. I take that as a constant that I can trust. For now. Well.
So we should head to the nearest apothecary. Or
does anybody need to grab any sort of equipment?
We need to clean our gear. So the first thing we should do is go and clean our gear, since the satyr is refusing to do so.
Okay.
I'll make my
You
way
guys do that.
So
I will get out of this outfit.
Okay.
Driving me crazy.
So as you approach the storeroom, I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh God.
I'm safe, right? 'Cause my stuff's all clean.
As long as you're not if you're going into the room and you're not Ched, you need to make a Constitution saving throw.
I rolled a 20.
All right. You find the scent and stuff repulsive, but you push through.
Yeah. I can't.
In fact, you find it almost charming.
I mean, I am part cow. Makes sense.
All right, so you're able to go in, grab the stuff, or clean the stuff. Anyone want to chat with Talia or check anything else before you all leave this courtyard? Or look around again, check anything else?
Should somebody perhaps make a note of the map so that we know where we're going?
Agreed. Someone should do that.
Okay, I guess I will do it. So I guess I'll have the map.
Okay, you have paper or you have parchment in your bag, or if not, you can maybe rip off part of the tablecloth and improvise, looking for something for... Jonathan, if you want to post a link in the chat, let me know so I can permit you.
I just got an alert that I shouldn't do that.
Yes, it's basically the auto moderator does that. So let me give you the permit. Let me see. Okay, go ahead and try again.
Okay.
Cheap leg.
Cannon to the smell. Okay, wait, what is this? Oh my god. Okay, I'll have to watch this later.
What is that? I don't see it.
It's in the Twitch chat.
Oh, in the Twitch chat. Got it.
Okay. Anyway, what were we just saying? What we were saying before that? Mishuru was asking a question, or no?
Oh, I mean, I need to make a map.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So, is there anything that I can use in the room?
So if there's nothing in your inventory, do a quick perception check, or you look around. You see various snacks, dipping sauce. Okay. You don't see a writing utensil or quill. But you do see tablecloths, and you can see a little bit of semi-wet, semi-dry fecal matter on Ched.
Oh, God.
That's taking most of your attention.
Well, I guess wouldn't I have some sort of makeup?
You would actually. You could use some of your makeup.
Ground
I pull out some of my makeup and I grab. Is there there's no I just.
Some water or wine.
If you have parchment in your inventory, you can use that. Otherwise, you can rip off part of the table. There's a white tablecloth nearby.
Yeah, I'm gonna use the tablecloth, my makeup, and then just mix it up. Mix the makeup with wine and make some ink, and then write it. Try to recreate the map as best I can on the cloth, and then roll it up and put it in my bag.
Okay. Sounds good. During this time, Talia is kind of hurriedly going around to the different bodies and is trying to waft some of her concoction towards them.
Okay.
I'm not sure if we should stay longer or we should leave.
I think we
It seems like we should leave.
I think we should leave.
I think we're good to go. We have the map. We have all of our equipment. I think we're ready to go.
Alrighty. So you're planning to head out of this place and begin your adventure to presumably slay some sort of beast to figure out how to save your friends. Hopefully in time. You don't know how long, but you're going to have to go fast. And so that's where we're going to end our role-playing session for today.
Okay.
This was a fantastic first session.
We've learned so much about where fecal matter can land on a satyr.
I am sorry that I decided to make that decision. It was the only contribution I had this whole game. Otherwise, I played a song that helped no one, and just drunk all of their
People
yaga.
used your inspiration points.
Yeah. Your inspiration was inspiring.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm very inspiring.
And you grew a map creating horn flower.
Was that so, Kyle? That was to kind of gather me into this adventure. Otherwise, I would have no reason to go.
I reveal not my methods. That is part of it, ensuring that you would go. The specifics of the flower may be relevant, as well as the petal that wilted and fell off into the conspicuous pile that y'all didn't look at again.
I've just kind of gone with the thing that, as a superficial asshole, I don't like something growing on my horns, and that's reason enough. To
That is reason enough. I was just yeah.
That was so. No, I was saying that's perfect.
Yeah.
Great job, everyone. I'm gonna. Should I end the meeting? Does anyone else have anything
Let's
to say?
take a second. So next week, I believe Christina will be joining us. So
fun.
we'll have another member to our party. I believe it's next week. If not, it might be the week after that. And so I'm excited. She's really fun, really funny, and she knows both D&D. Like, she hasn't played in a campaign in a while, but she's familiar, and also she's vaguely familiar with magic, like more so than I think any of you four. And so she'll be able to provide some insight into the world, maybe, that could be helpful to the party. And I'm really excited for where this can go potential. So we'll be back at 7:30 p.m. Pacific time, again next week, next Wednesday, and we leave the courtyard and begin traveling northwest.
Awesome.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Feel some shit.